speech is vegan propaganda is unhealthy and dangerous. Thank you. Jolie.
Hello, everyone. So in recent times, we've been hearing a lot about vegetarian and vegan diets and how they are the solution to every single health problem we have. If you want to get healthy, just go vegetarian or go vegan, but not so fast, because these studies are often biased and they are not based by controlled or peer-reviewed studies. Let's say book China study, which how many of you have heard of this book? Have you read it?
Hard portions.
So they try to always pinpoint things that have been written in this book, even though a lot of vegans have not even read it. They don't have the book, but they are vegans because they think this is what they have to do to avoid cancer, heart disease, high cholesterol. But the studies in this book been done that during the World War II and other famine times, people did had lower cancer rates, but the study, fails to mention that they consumed less processed food, less sugar, less breads, overall, other less processed foods. And also this book fails to mention that all indigenous people, all tribes, Indians, Africans, Aborigines, Australians, people who live in Alps, they've been consuming meat products for centuries. And Egyptians, the oldest generations. Our grandparents didn't have heart disease and didn't die at such rates from cancer as people do now. So there is great proof for that. A book by Weston A. Price with pictures and everything. He studied, he traveled the world for indigenous people. He took pictures. People had beautiful white teeth, no deformities, no diseases. They consumed wild fish, animals, plants. Now, I agree that we should consume more plants as a society, but so the focus should be going into natural foods and eliminating processed foods, but not that vegan diet is an answer. There's so many unhealthy junk food vegetarians and vegans who consume soy on a daily basis, which is actually very cancer promoting. It's high in estrogen and especially harmful for men and for women. It increases the risk of breast cancer. And so these problems start to arise, like heart disease and cancer, once these indigenous people now start to consume our diet, and let's say people in China and other remote areas in Mexico, when they introduce like Coke, McDonald's, margarine, vegetable oils, Crisco, chips, all these things, then the problems start to arise. So it's not the problem in the meat, because it's the problem how you raise meat too also. The factory farming is not the way the meat should be brought up. Chickens are omnivores like humans. They need to eat some grass, get some worms, get some bugs, go outside in the sun, and not be grown with this growth hormones and given antibiotics to avoid diseases, because they don't eat their species-specific diet. They fed monocrops, like one crop their whole life. So how this meat can be healthy? Of course it's not healthy. But when we take a wild, let's say we catch in the wild deer or bird, or it tastes differently and it doesn't have the same effect. Also, the way we cook the meat. If we fry and cook it in high heat, and then add preservatives to keep it from spoiling on the shelf, then we add nitrates, and then we mix with the wheat and bread, which is very low nutritious fuel for humans, and it's not really worth consuming. It contains gluten, and a lot of vegans consume breads and cereals and things like that, which are not healthy for us. So the thing, we need to wake up and to look how we can improve our food supply and the way we ship food, the way we preserve it, and then we will avoid these diseases. So vegan idea is nice, but if you're just doing it for the ideology that you want to be nice and not to kill animals, because there's no health reasons for it, for sure, if you want to be optimally healthy. Now, you can survive it, but there's a high risk of infertility and other things too. So, yeah, remember, you are the animal too, so love yourself.
Thank you, Jolita. I'm actually a big believer in Weston Price myself, and I've read that book. And look at my teeth.
Yay!
He was a dentist,
Yes.
and he traveled the world and studied people in their
Yes.
aborigines and people, tribes in isolated areas, eating all kinds of varied diets, but they were not eating.
What's the name of the book?
Weston A. Price, Nutrition and Physical Degeneration in Modern Humans.
Nutrition and physical.
Well, his name is Weston Price. So
Yes.
there's a website.
Weston Price.
Weston
Yes.
Price. Yeah, so of course we want to eat
Western.
food.
It's the magical. Okay.
This is like, I see a black hole that some people fall into, like nutrition labyrinth. They fall into that vegan dark hole. You cannot see any other evidence, just vegan is the answer, is the way to go. But there is hope. We can see there is some white circle around that black hole, and you can swim out of the darkness and heal your mind and your body. I've experienced that. The road is not very easy. We can see there are some obstacles here and like wires, some darker, brighter surfaces, but eventually you climb out of it. So.
Well, you see, everyone got it right.